Now, we've all seen witches go and die, but how about when witches fly? What's going on, fellow fans of Clash of Clans? Thank you guys for stopping by Galadon Gaming, where today we are talking about the witch, but not just regular witch attacks. Now, we will see some witches in action, we'll see some witches die, and then we will see the most heroic witch of all time who takes flight in order to grab the victory for none other than Galadon. But right here, we've got some other Night Mode Clash action. This from Celebrate Chaos of Night Mode Clash. And okay, so yes, he's using a bunch of witches and he's going to do this great attack, but his name. I've never asked the exact story about Celebrate Chaos's name, but you've got to think that if he changed it to this, then he had to have typed that in twice, right, to confirm it? And that's not an easy mistake to make twice, unless you're in a real rush. Otherwise, he could have made the error when he first created the account and spelled Celebrate wrong, but then he would have the name change available. Am I right? So he could change it. And so I don't know what the story is behind the name, but maybe we will ask him for a future episode. It's just one of those unanswered questions that I have to know the answer to. Put it on the list of things that keep me awake at night. All right, so this may be keeping Brown Star awake at night, watching his base get completely wrecked by witches and minions. We call this the Mitch attack. Usually 2 camps of witches and 2 camps of minions. And here, as you can see, it's just a matter of getting that last air defense out of the way, the air bombs rather. And sure enough, right there, nothing to stop the witch. She is going to continue on and help wipe out this base completely for a 3-star win. And again, I've talked about this in previous episodes. The witch, the most inconsistent unit in the game, in that she can be a miracle worker or she can just absolutely get annihilated. Right here, I am using the Night Witch and dropping her in the very top. Now, I, of course, dropped the battle machine in front to make sure that he's going to clear out any mines that the witches might accidentally step on. Last thing we want is to lose a whole group or all of them at once to a mine, like that mine right there. Luckily, the battle machine went in and triggered that mine first. That would have been absolutely disaster and the instant end of this attack. Now also, the roaster locking onto witches is a very bad thing. The multi-mortar doing the same thing. So those are keys when you're using witches to watch out for. You need to make sure that the multi-mortar and the roaster do not lock onto your witches. Here it worked out pretty well. As you can see, I still have 5 of 6 witches alive, and the battle machine is on the builder hall before he has to deal with any of the crushers. So that is great news. Witches all over the place. We've lost a bunch of them, but again, those bats doing a great job of helping to clean up. The battle machine somehow just barely survives the left crusher. He is going to move on to get a couple of more structures down, and now we're down to almost purely defenses right here. But check out all of the Night Witches. I still have 3 of them, and that is actually going to be enough with their bats to stop these last defenses. The archer towers, the double cannon, just no splash damage to speak of. And sure enough, the bats are going to completely overrun that last archer tower, and that's it. Nothing else left to stop me from a 3-star win, and it's rare. It's super rare against these maxed or nearly maxed Builder Hall 6 bases, but it does feel very good. And right here, the final structure goes down, and there it is, the 3-star. Well, kind of heavy on the witches, but we would still call that a Mitch win. Now, speaking of witches dying, let's take a quick look at what can happen when you don't protect your witches. We saw this in the opening. There it is. 6 witches instantaneously die, leaving this attacker with, well, 3 giants and a battle machine, and pretty much an assured loss. So in a future episode, we will just highlight all of the times that witches have died to massive mines. So if you've got a replay, please do let me know about it. Now, speaking of witches that do well, here is another replay where we've got a heroic witch. Now, you'll notice again, the battle machine prevented the absolute disaster there on the far left. It triggered that big mine that was set towards the outside of the base, and now the witches can safely path in and do not have to worry about getting taken out. Now, as we move through this attack, you'll see that the battle machine is up at the top. It has not grabbed the attention of the roaster yet, but the multi-mortar is out of the way, and that's going to help those witches survive down at the bottom. As you can see, they're working their way into the core. We've got one that's kind of stuck behind the wall, and that witch is going to be a critical witch right there, because she is going to be the heroine of the story of this replay. So the battle machine is working on the builder hull, and he will finally get it down. But check out our little witch with about 5% health left right here. 68% damage on this base. As she works her way through, she's going to grab several more structures as she is out of range of anything that can stop her. So from 68%, she's still going strong. The bats are within range of the roaster, but she is still out of the way. And finally, it's going to be that single cannon you can see there on the right-hand side that is going to reach out and touch our witch, but not before she does a massive amount of damage to this base, goes through the gold storage, and almost gets the crusher down from 68 to 83% with just that one witch. And that is what is going to take us to the story of the Miracle Jumping Witch. Now, this is me facing a lithium base. You can see, please tell me you can see why that's called lithium. I mean, it looks like the periodic table of elements sign for lithium. Li kind of tilted to the left a little bit. I know you see that. Okay, moving on. So, watch the witch on the far left of your screen. She is going to be perhaps the truly greatest witch of all time in this attack and any other attack to ever happen in Clash of Clans. In fact, if you think you've got a better one, let me know, because I would love to feature it in a video. But in come the rest of the minions, so everybody is down except I saved a couple of minions. There she is, and she's what we call wall stalled. She is stuck on that outer level wall, and that's actually really good. It's going to keep her protected from any splash damage, and the higher level the wall, the better, because it's just going to allow her to repeatedly spawn bats from outside of the range of any defenses. We go back and look one more time. There she is, beautifully stalled on the wall. That is the most heroic, miracle, flying, jumping night witch you've ever seen. All right, so the attack just looks like it's about to wrap up. Everybody getting wiped out. But again, she's been so far behind. Here she comes on her way in, and get ready. Here it comes. Any moment now, she's within range of the mortar. She needs to get to the builder hall faster. So, flying through the air with the greatest of ease, here she comes. And the beautifully timed and placed push trap drops her right within range of the builder hall. She's going to take severe damage from that mortar, but not before she has time to spawn another set of bats. One more set of bats is going to come out, and her death spawn bats are just enough to get the builder hull down, grab the second star, and clutch the victory. So there you have it, the tale of the Miracle Jumping Flying Night Witch. Let's get on to a few recent comments. SAJUZ14 wants to know, why his grass stopped growing. Remember, you can only grow 25 patches of grass with your the barbarian head that you're given in the game. You need to buy the second one in order to grow up to 50 pieces of grass total. And breaking news, this just in, Omega Pirate says, Galadon, you have the voice of a news reporter. Why, thank you very much. Next up, that Nuclear Atom says, today is my dog's birthday. Can I get no likes? Good to always see the trolls are present in the comments. Get him one like. All right, next up, Luis says, being up defensive generation, frustration surface video tomorrow. Yeah, let's delete that one. And Filmcrafter says, Galadon. Geez, that accent is killing my ears. Yeah, that's probably the reason that we're trying to hold off on letting Peter back in, but it sounds like you guys want to hear from Peter, so maybe he will come back. And then in reference to a recent free-to-play player with the custom grass talking about how this guy had 5,000 or 6,000 gems, I'm going to find out exactly how many gems you can get as a free-to-play player in a future episode. And then Dan, same thing. Gemmer bought 2 heads. He's talking about the guy saying he's not free-to-play, but he bought the barbarian head. Go figure. Ryan Phillip, When they facing level 12 and 13, I'll be impressed. He's talking about the level 1 players. I'm working on it. In fact, I've got a $25 bounty out for players in my clan if anybody level 1 can beat a level 12 that didn't disconnect. All right, that is going to wrap up this episode. Thank you guys again for watching all the way to the end. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, have a great day, and of course, come back again tomorrow for more full attacks.
Galadon! Witches can't fly without their broom! Silly Galadon!